Just like we all know that tiny water droplets can make an entire ocean, similarly your small regular investments can make a huge corpus of money. In this video, we'll be talking about the concept of compounding, why it's important for you to understand, and how you can use this superpower to grow your money exponentially. Hi everyone, my name is Harsh Srivastav. I'm an ex-investment banker, a business owner, and a part-time content creator. On this channel, we'll be talking about everything related to real estate, stock market, insurance, investing, trading, futures and options, and much more. So let's get started with the video. What is compounding? Let's first understand this. Say for example, you invest in any investment avenue that gives you 10% return. In that case, if you invest 1000 rupees, you'll be getting 100 rupees at the end of the year, right? In the next year, you are left with 1100 rupees, and when you invest that sum of money, the 10% of that 1100 will be 110 rupees. So you see the increment in the absolute value that you earned? From 100 we went to 110. So compounding is a phenomena wherein in the subsequent years of your investment being put at one place, the amount of interest or dividend or the return you earn in any form actually increases exponentially instead of in a linear fashion. Let me make it easier for you. Let's say Aman invests 1000 rupees in a simple interest financial instrument. In that way, if he invests 1000 rupees, he'll be earning 100 rupees at the end of every year. By the end of 10 years, he will have accumulated 2000 rupees. On the other hand, let's say Shreya, she invested in a financial instrument which gives compound interest. That is, in the subsequent year, she will also get a return on the increased principal amount, right? So in the first year, she reaches to 1100 and then 1210, and subsequently at the end of 10 years, she'll be sitting at a corpus of 2594. So this is where the effect of compounding comes in. Aman doubled his money in 10 years, whereas Shreya was able to double her money in roughly 7 years. So that is the power of compounding. And I urge you to actually pay close attention to why it's important to understand this concept. The sole reason to understand this is inflation. Inflation actually eats up your money even if your money is kept in a saving account earning 3% interest or even an FD which gives you 6% interest. Let me show you why. When you invest your money in a fixed deposit, you might be earning 6% interest, right? Your 1000 rupees may become 1060 at the end of the year. However, there's a 10% TDS that gets deducted. You also pay higher tax amount if you come in the higher tax bracket. Other than that, if the inflation rate in India is 7%, you are actually at a negative real return. So you actually lose the actual worth of your money. Say for example, you go to a grocery store. You're buying 1000 rupees worth of grocery in 2022. In the next year, the same goods will cost you 1070. Do you know why? Inflation took its effect. So, as you can see, it's extremely important that you invest your money in an investment avenue that can actually give you positive real return. So now you might wonder, what can I do to actually get a positive real return? Well, there are financial instruments where you can invest your money and get a positive real return. But for that, first of all, you need to understand your risk profile. Whether you are an aggressive investor, a moderate investor, or a conservative investor. So let me give you 3 criteria which I feel are the most important ones to look at when you decide on which instrument to choose from. So the first criteria is your age. If you're young enough, you don't have a lot of responsibilities, you can be an aggressive investor. However, if you are a 50-year-old who has a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, you have to take care of your children's education, you have to take care of the house loan, you have to take care of the regular household expenses, right? So in that case, you have to be a moderate or a conservative investor. Similarly, a lot also depends on your loss bearing capacity. Say for example, a person is sitting with 4.5 crores of corpus and his monthly expenses is just 50,000. So he spends just 6 lakhs in a year. In that case, his loss bearing capacity is quite high. So even if he loses money in the short term, he can afford to stay invested in the long term. But say for an example, you earn 10 lakh rupees, right? Your monthly expenses is 50,000. So you spend 6 lakhs of your income yearly. In that case, you cannot bear a long-term loss in an instrument, right? So you have to be very conservative in your approach towards investing. Also, a lot depends on the psychological factor. Some of us are okay seeing the red numbers in our portfolio. Why? Because we know that in the long term, we are gonna sustain and our cash flows will become positive. We will have some sort of an earning. However, there are people who start panicking whenever their investments show in the red. That is, they have negative returns. They tend to sell their investments, and that's the biggest mistake you could do. So now you have to gauge whether you are an aggressive investor, a moderate investor, or a conservative one. So according to that, there are various financial instruments where you can choose to put your money. If you are an aggressive investor, you can choose to invest directly in the stock market. But with regards to picking stocks, you have to have a great amount of knowledge to analyze those stocks, whether the company will be able to perform. You need to be able to read their financial reports. You need to be able to gauge the future of the company. Only then you can start investing directly in the stock market. If you do not have the know-how of investing in the stock market, stay away from it. You have another option. You can go with equity mutual funds. But why choose equity mutual funds? Because I don't have the know-how. Well, when you invest in equity mutual funds, you have fund managers who take care of all the research and they do all the work on your behalf, for which they also charge some expense ratio, but they are able to invest your money and grow it. So choosing some of the blue chip funds can actually help you grow your money in an exponential way. We also know that some of the times blue chip funds might not perform that well. Actually, majority of the fund managers aren't even able to beat the index, right? So is there a way that I can actually get returns which is equivalent to the index returns? Well, yes, there are Nifty Bs. These are benchmark exchange traded schemes wherein when you invest in these Nifty Bs, you actually get the exact return when you would have individually invested in those Nifty 50 companies. These are for the aggressive and moderate investors. What about the conservative ones? Well, I have two financial instruments which you can choose from. Gold has been a store of value for a long period of time, but purchasing physical gold and keeping the safety is quite risky. So I suggest purchasing gold ETFs are a great way to not even worry about the safety of your investment, and you can easily beat the inflation. And last but not the least, you can also invest in NPS, the National Pension System. It comes under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Finance of the Government of India. And this is a great investment avenue if you also want to save taxes and grow your money simultaneously. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, click on the bell icon, and stay tuned for my next video.